Hey everybody, let me just check the audio very fast. We are good to go. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day here. Bitcoin is below $92,000 right now, so probably not having a great day here. But still lots to talk about here. We did have some good news across the market overall. The technicals are just out of this world bad at this point in time. And I know we've been talking about Bitcoin being bearish and the MACD and all this other stuff for the past month or so. But it's something we're definitely going to have to live with here for the next few weeks, if not months here. So we're going to have to see how this all plans out. Let me go right here. And there we go. All right. So hopefully you guys are all having a good day here. Hey, Tom, happy to see you, my man, or Tim, excuse me. Let me move over here very fast. Oh, and here's Loki. I don't have any treats for Loki. They're all upstairs. But Loki did want to say hi. I'm getting back to the normal schedule and everything, coming back from Texas. So happy to see all of you guys here. Loki, come on up, say hi. There's no treats, so he has no incentive to stay high for long. But he is wagging his tail. He has been getting pets and stuff, and he did get treats just a few minutes ago while I was upstairs. But anyway, I gave you guys a little bit of an update yesterday about what's going on with the channel, all this new stuff I'm doing. If you guys didn't see the AI video or the technical analysis video this morning, plus after this stream, I am going to be putting out another video just doing some talking head stuff about the overall market and kind of what's happening here. And I get kind of a feeling vibe, not necessarily a technical analysis vibe, because I won't be using the technicals and stuff like that. One last thing here is when I was in Texas, I did have a good time. Unfortunately, while I was getting drunk, I went over to the Alamo and I happened to sprain my ankle. So currently, I am wearing a boot and I have myself a cane. So I'm not doing so much stuff out and about, which means I'll be able to do more YouTube stuff with you guys, I think, for the next few weeks. At most, I think I may smoke a pipe every now and again with you guys. Well, because my cigars are in the garage, I guess. But I do have a pipe somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Huh? A $200 pipe, actually. So it's really now $175 because I didn't get the Mersham. But it's a great pipe, so maybe I'll smoke with you guys. Not today, but another time here. But yeah, so a lot of stuff going on here right now. But hopefully you guys are all doing okay. Let's kind of break into what's happening with Bitcoin right now, because it definitely is not a good thing, right? And hey, Tom again. Oh, who did I miss right here? Sorry, I got different things on my screen. There we go. Hey, Lunacat, happy to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for all the help you do. Just robbery letters. It feels like it at this point. It really does feel like it. And hey, Digital K, happy to see you as well. So let's kind of do a little bit of a deep dive here to see what's going on, because I guess you already know it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. I would say there's more of a bear market vibe in crypto right now. And although Bitcoin's around 92,000, because altcoins are still so down, you know, I think everybody is just in a very bad mood and hailing time. And that really comes from the fact that everybody just has a lot of money invested in altcoins, right? Usually when I tell people, sorry, I know I gotta use this cane to pop around and stuff. When I tell people to invest in cryptocurrency that want to do it the safe and the really boring way, I tell them to buy the majority of their holdings in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And then if they want to have any risk at all, just put it into some altcoins like the Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, ADA, XRP, those tokens that like are in the top 20 basically in terms of market cap. And even with that, people are going to be kind of upset or worried about what they're seeing right now from the market. And if you, of course, like many people, including myself, have a lot of money, as far as the cycles are concerned, tied up in altcoins, man, this has just been a miserable last few months, a miserable week, a miserable month, a miserable 3-4 months, I guess you could say. Well, no, it's not that long. November, December, January, February. Yeah, I feel like 4 months at this point. We all made our good move and our money off of that last little rally we saw with altcoins and Bitcoin. But, you know, while Bitcoin overall, even with the downward move we saw yesterday or today, if you want to call it that, we're still going sideways generally. You go to a lot of other assets and they're just not going sideways. In fact, we saw Ethereum break down. Solana, break down, right? Trump continuing to move down. Dogecoin hitting that level of support. So a lot of bad stuff is happening right now. And the good news that we're hoping for, right? That good news is supposed to be, hey, Jerome Powell is going to be cutting rates and all that good stuff. It's not happening. We have inflation at 3.1%, 3% right now, something like that. It is too high for Jerome Powell, so he really has no incentive to start to cut rates. I think Trump has a plan for that, and I'll let you guys know about that in a few minutes here. We've talked about it a little bit here, but it's kind of more of a mad hat, mad scientist theory, not something where I'm like, oh, look at this data. Trump has a plan. He's a genius. It's more of like, damn, this could be a consequence of Trump doing some stuff with Elon. So from a technical analysis perspective, I don't know if things are much different than what I told you guys about earlier in my video this morning. No. So I think we are good to actually pop this up very fast here, just so you can see what's going on. So let me pop open a video. Not a video, an image here. And of course I deleted the image. That's okay. I can go over here to Canva very fast and just pull it up for us. I'm not the type of guy that has crazy stuff on my Canva. Here we go. And then I think what I'll do for this one is just download it again. And then from here, I'll just pull it up, get rid of that. And I think this should do the trick for us a little bit here. There you go. So what you're seeing right now is the daily momentum, change of character, right? MACD, stochastic, and RSI. So basically all of this really just comes down to what is the momentum like. Every time we look at the charts for the day, what is that daily momentum showing us? Right now, it's like 90% bearish, 99% bearish here. You can see on the weekly charts we have a little glimmer of hope with still having a bullish change of character. If we were to break down below this $90,000 level, we would have a bearish change of character, which would be absolutely horrible for us. We'll talk about that if it does occur. But you see on the weekly charts as well right now, we have the MACD being bearish, the stochastic being bearish, the RSI being bearish. And for the daily charts, everything is bearish. Change of character, MACD, stochastic, RSI, all of it for the daily and the 4 hour, all is very bearish. So what that means is, for me, who wants to see you guys make money as you guys learn how to trade, do different trading styles, whether it's my own trading style, CryptoFace has some, Tom Crown has some, a lot of people have some. Whatever your trading styles are, I want you guys to be able to make money. But what this is telling you right now is this is probably a better time to be doing short trading. And while this was a good idea like a few hours ago before we started dumping right early in the morning when everything was still bearish, right now the only caveat I would give you guys as far as everything being bearish is, hey, just be okay and know and understand that, hey, if I can pull this up, there you go. We do have a level of support right here, so if you guys are trying to short, just be a little bit more careful about that. When everything was bearish again over the last few weeks and last few days specifically, that would have been a better opportunity to actually start doing some shorting here for larger trades. Right now, you'd still be shorting, but you'd be doing a little bit more scalping. But because we've kind of, if I can actually pull you over here very fast. See how the daily chart's still bearish over here? 4 hour chart's still bearish over here. 4 hour chart's been bearish since, guessing right over here this morning, right? So next time you see a break of structure or a change of character, something like that, you're more likely to do that type of short, right? Big point being here, be careful of shorting at these levels of support. If we continue to break down below that, you can have an opportunity. But for me right now, it's kind of almost these scalps. So if the 1 hour chart is more of what you're looking for here, you can see right now we're still bearish. Everything's still bearish right here. If you can catch on to a 15-minute breakdown, that's most likely what you're going to be looking at here. It's not the funnest type of trading right now because the move already happened. Because again, you had the warning to open up the short back over here. Actually, after the MACD, to be honest. Or no, right there. Actually, yeah, right there. There. And then what you guys had to do is look on the hour chart afterwards. If you guys want to do more, break of structure, change of characters, and those along with those longer term bearish looks, those really gave you some good opportunities. Now, how much do you want to trade? How much do you want to short? That's really up to you. But what we've been doing here is really just looking at the early morning trades because it seems like that's where all the action is. Now, I set an alarm to make a video for you guys very early, and then I fucked up my boot and I couldn't walk to come downstairs to make a video because, of course, I'm in a freaking cane right now. So what I did instead was I took a peek at George's channel over at Crypto RS. Really chill guy. I know all of you guys probably know him by now. But this morning he was watching Bitcoin for part of his stream in between his news talks, right? And if I go back over here very fast and I go to market sessions, there you go. You'll see that he actually had a moment where he was showing the market go up. Then all of a sudden the market just went down when he was talking, and I was like, ouch, that's not good. No bueno right there, no bueno right there. And that's kind of how I feel about the entire market right now. It's just not that good. As far as when I'm looking to buy and things like that, I am thinking of doing a little bit of dollar cost averaging right now. But as I said over the past month now, like a month and a half, you really don't have to do any crazy dollar cost averaging until the environment starts to get better. Right now, the more I look at the news and what's going on, I see a lot of good news for the long-term longevity of Bitcoin, the long-term prospects of ADA, Solana. I think like all this good news is coming out. It's great, but it's not like cataclysmic news that really impacts the things that we want to see move, like inflation, economic data. The only time I've really seen a big move over the last few weeks has been, I guess, a little bit of the hack from the North Koreans, and then coming from, I guess you would call it the Ukraine, Russia, United States peace talks. What's kind of going on there? If we do have a peace agreement coming from the us and I guess the Russia, that would be a very good thing. That would actually get Bitcoin to rise a lot more. And then here's the tinfoil hat theory, if you will. I don't really have a tinfoil hat, but I can use a box of long matches here. Okay. This is my theory, and I'm wondering what you guys think about this, because I don't think it's like too far-fetched, but it's more about just how big of an impact this will have, and I wanted to do some Google research with you guys on the spot to kind of figure out what's going on here. So my theory is, you know how the jobless market isn't really, the job market isn't really doing that great right now. We're kind of teetering a little bit. Not terrible, but it's definitely not good. So what happens if the federal government stops hiring for new positions? Okay, that's usually a big chunk of the workforce. And when they start to cut large amounts of positions, does that mean next month we're going to see job losses because of what the government is doing right here with Elon Musk and Donald Trump? And if we do start to see job losses come into play, and that does become a mainstream narrative the news is talking about all day, and this could be, your Fox News, your CNBC, your CNN, your Fox Business, your MSNBC, CBS, NBC, that type of stuff. If that does come to pass, do you think that may make it more likely for Jerome Powell to actually think about, just hear me out, think about lowering rates because all of a sudden the job market is getting a little bit more hectic? And I'm thinking it will. So, in my mind, as bad as Bitcoin is right now, as we're looking at it kind of going sideways for the past few months, and again, we've been at this level time and time again. You guys can count with me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my God, it's like Sesame Street, right? Did USAID pay for this one? But anyway, we've been here for a minute. Although we're here, I'm not overly concerned about this type of thing, meaning that the bull market is over. I'm not too concerned about that. I'm more concerned that we may see like a jolt of pain before we start to see some really good moves here. And for us that want to put more money into the market, even though we may have good news on the horizon, because the short-term news is still kind of bearish here, I don't feel like there's a crazy incentive unless you're like a true believer that this is the last dip we're going to take. Over the next month or so, I think there's going to be an opportunity to start doing a lot more dollar cost averaging, especially for some of those large caps that you know and trust that you aren't going to feel that are like a Popcat or a Mudang or a real low market meme coin, right? Something above $1 billion market cap, theoretically. What are you guys saying right there? Yeah, market manipulation by exchanges, bunch of BS. We did see some stuff happening, of course, with was it Bybit the other day with the hack? Binance is having some money moved around right now. That is pretty interesting. You're starting to see some institutional investors also hedge their bets. And by hedge the bet, I mean like normally we have institutional investors, right? A lot of them buy for the long term. Some are just like us and they do their own swing trades and their long-term investing. Well, right now, some of those people, because they're just not used to the market, they actually kind of bought at higher prices, and they're kind of getting panicked out of the market right now, which is kind of interesting to see here. I wish there was better news on that front, but it's just not the best one, right? We call working out too much. No. I mean, I've been working out daily before this, but no, I just got drunk in Texas, and then I went to the Alamo. And then as I was coming back from the Alamo, I just happened to trip on a curve because I wasn't looking where I was going. And I rolled my ankle and I got myself a boot. I got myself a bandaged up. And now I got to walk with a cane for a few more days, maybe a week or so. But yeah, I'm okay. I went into shock. I almost passed out in the middle of the garage getting back to the Airbnb. But I survived. And that's all that that's all that matters. I was like, I don't know any doctors in Texas. I don't want to spend the whole night at the doctor. That'd be absolutely horrible. Let's not do that. So I Instacarted all of my bandage needs, and it was just fine. And a bunch of pain pills. But yeah, so overall, guys, things I would say are just not looking that good for Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure you're probably hearing the same thing from a lot of people out there. If you guys watched my video earlier, I know I've been posting as much, so YouTube might not be like pushing it out to you. I had this big part about what happens around the 20-week moving average and how usually once we break down below it, there's usually just a little bit of volatility around it. It doesn't always have to be a dump, but usually there's just that big amount of volatility, and we usually are breaking down after that into a level of support. In this case, we had a support level from over here to over here, and we kind of found that block, if you will, with Bitcoin, right? So if I were to go back to the next one, you could see right here, found our way back into the block, and we actually managed to hold it, which was kind of a nice sign right here. But we broke down, found the block, not the craziest move in the world, but we found it, right? Next up, this block is kind of interesting, right? Because, like, where would you put it? It's most likely all the way down here, like $71,500. That's not really what I see. So I think instead of looking at the weekly chart, it's probably best for us to look at the daily chart. And I think the block I can get out of here right now looks something more like this, perhaps. So possibly from $88,000 all the way to $85,000, especially with the 200 daily moving average moving up. You could possibly even squeeze this down just a little bit here back into this kind of cluster. But big point here, if we're not able to hold it, probably going back into the mid 80,000s range here. And as I look at that, that's not really the strongest level of support I've ever seen, but I do think it's a level of support that makes sense for another opportunity if you guys wanted to try to do a catch a falling knife, buy, and then sell it a couple days later as it kind of revamps up. It works better, of course, with altcoins over Bitcoin, but I think that's going to be an opportunity for people out there. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about liquidation heat maps as of late. I like them to a degree, but I mean, when we break down below them, it just doesn't really mean much, right? So let's go over here and let's just go from the heat maps from probably, let's just go to December till now. All right. You can see some heat, but that's all the way at $88,000 right here. Not really the best here. I mean, maybe let me just go over here to the 3-month. All right, you can see a little bit, but it's just not enough here for me to really get salivating on anything I see as far as like, oh, this could be it. Instead, when I look at this, again, it goes back down to the $88,000 range. That's fine. I I like to use the clusters, so I think that's what we're going to do very fast, just to give you guys a better understanding of what's going on here. AXS, of course, not having a good time, but I mean, what is having a good time? Remember, Ethereum just broke down here, so that's not good. But let me go over here to Bitcoin very fast. For this one, I believe it's probably better to just go with the normal Fibonacci retracement and then do 2 sets of each. So 1 and then 2. And the second one, of course, will be have the fib levels base turned off, right? And then we just got to do 2 more of this. That's the first of 2. And the last of 2 are just this last whole thing. And then when I see the clusters coming in, guys, that's where I'm like, okay, this is where historically I think we have the best chance. These clusters are great. They just make your chart look ugly. And I cannot stress that, like, if you show these to like technical investor, like the professionals and stuff, or certain YouTubers, they will get so mad that your chart looks like this. But it serves a practical use. So I just say, hey, I mean, fuck what everybody else thinks, as long as you're finding a way to make money. I mean, that's how I personally think. However, go over here to the daily charts. You can see how actually this was holding up until today. All this was okay. So all this basically is only useful until here. You can imagine this being the high point, but it's supposed to be here, right? So this is the most important part. Afterwards, we come back here. We're doing fine. There's another cluster down here on 87 to 86 to 84. For me, I think this is going to be more potent. If I can get out of the magnet here. That old block is going to be more potent than this whole thing as a whole, if that makes sense. So you might wick down here if something bad happens, but I would say this is probably what we're going to try to have the next bounce off of, around $86,000 to $87,000. So if I see that Bitcoin comes back down here, or even over here, because we are at a technical level of support, and I start to see the 4-hour chart looking bullish, and by that I mean going back over here on the 4-hour chart, we saw like a bull, a bull, a bull, a bull. If I see all those things cooking, and maybe a couple of these are cooking in the more the bullish territory as well, I might start doing some swing trades to the upside for maybe a day, maybe 2 days, at most 3 days, and I mean at most 3 days. But that's kind of the goal I'd be looking for here. Until then, it's all bearish, guys. It's all bearish. There's nothing really good happening here. I've heard some people out there. I know Evan Aldo. He's a guy I know. Some of them were talking about Bitcoin possibly going back down to low 70s, back down here to 73,000 and so forth. I would say this is an extreme. I don't believe we're coming back down here anytime soon. Maybe if we continuously have a bad economic outlook, plus we have no real optimism, no new optimism about rate cuts and things of that nature. I do think that 72,000 is definitely a chance there. But again, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I would say it's more likely, though, that this is going to be like the last bastion of hope in case this market ever got really, really bad. That would be the last bastion of hope right there. For now, over the next week or so, I think the worst we would get down to over the next quarter is going to be around $80,000. But until then, Bitcoin at this point in time remains sideways with probably a 60 to 70% chance of taking a dip down here to like 87,000. And then from there, as I move back to the original chart we were talking about, I think we still have an opportunity to break out. I really do. I think we have an opportunity not to go to all-time highs, but eventually break out of this trend line here and start moving back up to $100,000. All we need is one good batch of news. And again, this takes months and months of time. I think people forget how long we've been waiting for this stagnation, how long we waited over here for this stagnation. This stagnation lasted 247 days. Okay, 247 days. The stagnation we're looking at right now, so far, has been about 96 days. And of course, we've had our ups and downs, we've had our volatility, and you can see how bad that volatility got at certain times. But even if we were to have that bad volatility, it wouldn't take us back down below $80,000 or so. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. If you're looking at different tokens at the moment, everything's going to look down. Pardon me while I see. There we go. Sorry. My boot for my ankle was on too tight, so I had to loosen it up so I can actually continue to concentrate. Anyway, I mean, nothing is really safe today. I mean, look at Bitcoin's down about 4.5%. Ethereum's down about 11%, 10%. XRP's down 10. BNB's down 6. Solana's down 14. You can go down the list. I mean, nothing special here. You go to the other side. IP is making a move up. Something of a relatively new coin. I've seen it pop up on some scanners of mine over the past 24 hours. It's definitely been interesting, but not something I've been paying attention to all too much. It already has a $1.2 billion market cap. You can see it's a relatively new coin, but that's about it for that one. Everything else up 1%. Yay! I mean, yeah, there's nothing else. On the other side, Radium's down 23, Lido DAO's down 18.5, Official Trump is down 17, SUI is down 17, Bonk is down 16, World Token's down 15. I mean, this was at like $13 not like a year ago, and I made a lot of money off of it, and I've been holding it for a while, but I think whatever I have left over has probably gone down about like 80% plus at this point. Like, does what I was doing back in the day, if I can find a world token, yeah. Look at this weekly chart. All right, bought some over here, sold some up here. I got real lucky and actually sold some really high up there. But think about me dollar cost averaging some over here in case it continued to go higher. I mean, that's down about around 80%. Look at that. So, you know, I haven't checked it out until like last month, so I know it's not looking so good here. So that's kind of the story of what's going on. I think it's still fine to day trade here. I think a lot of you guys will have fun day trading. You can even see Bitcoin's trying to do some fun stuff now. And there you go. Sorry. My foot is killing me right now. But yeah, so kind of the gist of it. Let me go over here. And, you know, despite us actually having some good news, I would say, Bitcoin still doesn't seem to care, and that's just because the technicals still remain overly bearish, I would say. You can see some of the news that we talked about today. The SEC Enforcement Division closes its investigation into Robinhood Crypto. That was a very good thing, I think, for us. Robinhood, as far as I'm concerned, didn't do anything that the SEC would even have a problem with, to be honest. I think the SEC really had more of an issue when it came to staking and things like that. Instead of your typical, oh, you have this meme coin on your platform, you must be Wells noticed and having a massive lawsuit and blah 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 blah. You know, I don't think I don't think that's what they're really looking for these days. Instead, I think the Trump administration came in and said, hey, we got to raise the bar if we do want to go after these companies that work in crypto. And I believe they will go after companies in crypto. And to kind of point that to you guys right here, OKX pleads guilty, pays $505 million in penalties to settle DOJ charges. I mean, that is crazy, right? They agreed to pay over $500 million worth of fines for operating an unlicensed money transmitting business. All right, so the government's still going after certain crypto companies. I think they're just being very aware of what the climate is, and kind of aware, I would say, in this particular way, like how far the case was along before Trump's guys got into power and started making shifts, right? If this case was pretty much done, or there was so much evidence that the judge was going to find them guilty, a jury would have found them guilty, I don't think Trump would have just said, oh, you know, let's get rid of him, right? The only time I think I've seen him do something like that was with maybe with the Eric Adams guy, right? The guy in New York, so a little bit iffy, right? But they said they cooperated with the State of Adjustment, U.S. Department of Justice, in their thorough investigation of our business. We had a small percentage of customers who were able to use our international services due to historical compliance gaps. Today, our compliance controls are among the leading in the industry. This matter is now behind us. We have resolved the investigation. We'll continue to build on our onshore expansion. The company will operate as usual, and at Star OKX will remain as CEO. Right? So there you go. A little bit of a hiccup. Overall, they seem to be doing just fine right now. That being said, though, you know, it's not like it's as bad as the Binance one and things like that. I would assume there were some North Koreans, some terrorists or some Russians using OKX, and maybe OKX kind of knew that and just didn't do anything because the fees they were making were so fat. That's kind of how I think about these things. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I just wish there was something better going on. You know, let me go over here to Cointelegraph. Let me go over here to not Coin Market. We need to go to good old CNBC. I would go to Fox Business, you guys, to do more conservative leaning stuff. Some of you guys like that. But Fox Business, might have the worst website I've ever seen. So some of you guys were asking me about this before, and I was just like, this website sucks. Everything about it sucks. It's just not good. It's all linky and stuff, and I don't like it. I like CNBC. It's very chill. Right? So, big headlines here for today. Trump says tariffs on Canada and Mexico will go forward. Well, you know, fuck us, all right? Fuck the market. The market's not going to like that. That's another reason for Bitcoin to go down right there. We already saw what happened last time the tariffs were announced. I know we talked about a 30-day pause and stuff like that. It seems that Trump is trying to force Jerome Powell's hand. And again, I am very curious to see what you guys have to say about this, because do you guys think that Jerome Powell is going to have to react? And I think, yes, he will. I honestly think he will, especially because Trump's pressure is going to be so immense with all the different things he's throwing at him. Again, tariffs, which is crazy because it messes with the government in a negative way, or the economy in a negative way, right? However, the government makes more money, right? But again, it causes a little bit more inflation, which is not what Jerome Powell wants to see, which typically would keep rates higher, right? Then you have all the job cuts happening in the federal government. Jerome Powell loves the job market. If the job market's not doing good, he feels more of an incentive to cut. So we're kind of neutral there. Then all of a sudden you have Elon Musk saying, hey, we might have to audit the Fed, which would be like, whoa, audit the Fed? That could tip the scales, says, hey, Jerome Powell, back the fuck off, start to cut rates right now. And this could be interesting to see how this goes going forward. And of course, less migrant labor involved in the United States, because a lot of immigrants are getting deported here, a lot of illegal immigrants and dangerous immigrants. You can say they're a dangerous immigrant, but they're still a dangerous immigrant with a job. So again, that person, whoever that person was working, again, they're not going to be here. Somebody else is going to have to be hired. Maybe that person gets hired more than an immigrant, which means that company has to pay more, that small business has to pay more, and therefore they have to increase the price of their goods to their consumers. You know, there's a chain reaction to all this stuff, and there's politics behind it, good and bad. I don't care what you guys' viewpoints are. I'm just trying to explain what's about to happen here, and how this is going to be a showdown of sorts. And I think it's just going to be something we have to watch, because I don't think the media is going to be talking about this at all. I think the media is going to be more focused on the Ukraine-Russia stuff and the Trump-Doge stuff, but not necessarily what's going on with the Fed and all of these moves, and how they will have an impact on what the Jerome Powell has to do, or what his mandate says he should do over the next few months. All right. Now, in side news here, Jamie Dimon calls the U.S. government inefficient, and says Elon Musk's Doge effort needs to be done. I kind of agree with him. I don't think they're doing it the smartest way, to be honest, Trump and Elon. But I think when it comes to the government, how should I frame this for a way for everybody to understand? Like, the bureaucracy is a living being. If you try to cut it down, or you try to give it a little bit less money, or you try to like shrink it in some way, right? Shrink the government, shrink the bureaucracy. It's not just going to take it without a fight. It will hit back. There will be lots of things that it does to try to get you to not take money away from it. If you guys didn't know, over the last few days and whatnot, like, the news organizations have been interviewing all these workers saying, oh my God, how could Elon Musk ask me what I did last week? You know what I mean? Like, name 5 things you did at work last week. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I can name a lot, right? All of you guys could probably name a lot as well. It's just kind of a weird look right now. And I think that as this continues to happen, though, this will have an overall effect on the economy, which I'm really excited about, really excited about. And of course, you got Musk doubles down on threat to federal workers, file list of accomplishments, or get fired. I would just do it. I'm not going to have my pride stop me from getting that government paycheck. I don't know what they're talking about. As far as everything else, I was looking at news today, and I'm just like, No. His and hers tumbles after company misses on margin. No. Palantir drops 10% for worst day in May as investors continue dumping on one-time market favorite. I mean, it's just not good. Chang sues Google for hurting traffic with AI as it considers strategic alternatives. New York congestion program collected 48.6 million in January. That's not really a lot, but I guess for them it is. There was just not much news. And so when I was looking for stuff, I think the only thing that may matter to us as far as like investors is Palantir. I used to call it Palantir. I don't even know what it's called now, but Palantir. But this thing has been getting hit pretty hard. I wish there was a nice chart for it. 3-month chart, right? It had its beautiful pop, and all of a sudden it's just coming back down. If you're a long-term holder, you're not like in too much pain. You probably, in fact, scaled some out up here because you're probably a smart investor. But for those who bought it at the all-time highs, they're probably pissing their pants right now, which is hilarious. But what can you do? There's really not much news today besides, tariffs, Bitcoin going down, what's happening here. The 1-hour chart looks like it's trying to become bullish here, so you may even see a bit more of a spike happening later on tonight. Maybe around 4 hours from now, you might even see a nice little move. This would be a scalp play, nothing crazy here, but I think it would be worth checking out. There we go. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm kind of an open book at this point. I've been monologuing for about 40 minutes here, so that's how it's going to go for the while here, guys. And then I'll be answering you guys' questions and doing stuff like that. But overall, just not a pretty sight here. Not a pretty sight at all. 91K barely holding. We've been here before. It's not very pleasant, I grant you that. It's going to take another nasty news event tomorrow to really push us down lower. I would expect if we're going to have another crazy dip happening, it would most likely happen early morning during market open, when most of you guys are asleep that watch me on the West Coast. East Coasters will be awake. But if you want to be awake when the market opens, I think on the East Coast over by me, you have to be awake at 6:30. Yeah, 6:30, but most of the time you're up by like 5:30 to like do your hour-long, shower, brush your teeth and stuff like that. And hey, GT, I'm sick of this. It's always something Trump is going to wreck the market. Yeah, a lot of this is Trump right now. He is going back and forth, and that's leaving a gap of like what really will happen at this point. And trust me, I know a lot of people like Trump and a lot of people don't like Trump. Overall, I guess he's better for crypto than Kamala Harris, that's for sure. But since we have him right now, these tariffs are going to kick our fucking butts here if we can't figure this out. Again, go back over here to the daily chart here. We've been going sideways for a minute here. That yellow line pretty much represents the 20-week moving average. I do think there's a good chance we can pop back above that line here, especially because the week is still starting. It just started. But I mean, yowza, this is definitely not where you want to start the week here, breaking back down below $92,000 and then barely being able to crack back above it. Looks like a bar symptoms forming. What do you call it? I don't know what people call this. There's a lot of different things. I typically just call it a version of a rectangle here. When you look at this, you see the high box, see the low right here, just a nice low level of support and resistance. It just happens that we're at the bottom of this, and we've been at the bottom quite a few times before, but the longer we have to wait with it being down here, the more scared people get. And I don't think, again, people are really too concerned about Bitcoin. I think they're more concerned about their altcoins. So if we back up here very fast, actually just go over here. Let's get rid of the blocks and everything. There you go. Here's Ethereum coming back down to its support level, just like everything else. Solana coming back down to its big support level. Dogecoin coming back down to its support level, all the way back over here. Trump, Melania, not really much we can say about these ones. Melania never even got her own chance. She never got a chance. It's such a shame. With, I guess it's technically coming back to support. Freaking horrible support, I guess. You got Bonk over here. Oh, damn, I got a headache now. Laughing too much. Bonk back down to its support here. So a lot of stuff is just looking for these new support levels. And again, some of the stuff is just faltering so much that I'm going to be a bag holding some of this stuff for maybe a while here. Again, it's like a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. So it's not the most money in the world. but it's still money that I wanted to see grow in the market, right? Baby Doge coming back to being more sideways like it normally does. Book of Meme. This is one of those meme coins that we looked at a couple of years ago. I mean, I guess August of 2024, way back over here, March one. Yeah, about a year ago. A little bit of support. Once it broke down, it just never looked back. Shiba Inu, back to support. I mean, you go through all these lists and you can see all the supports being hit right now. Even things like Pepe, that I've been hyping up Pepe for a while. Remember I talked about be careful when it broke down below support. Those shorts can give you some really nice moves right here. And on top of that, if I can pull it up, double click, triple click. Oh, maybe wrong one. Mr. Pepe. And you see how it broke down, but you also see how we MACD, stochastic, RSI, all being bearish, all giving you great opportunities to short this down as much as you wanted to. Although the shorting might have been a little bit more spooky because of this support level right here, right? Breaking down below that. So you might have been able to only hold this for about a week or so. And if you scaled it right here, you could have held on longer, I suppose. But again, that same story is happening no matter which tokens you guys are looking at here. ADA came back down to support. I mean, ADA just got slammed. Is there anything looking, I mean, like, what did XRP do after all this? I mean, XRP's still looking okay. I think XRP is a special case here, but I mean, if you look at all the rest of the tokens, this one is probably outperforming a lot of other stuff here. Litecoin? Not bad, not good, but I guess it really hasn't been doing much here, has it? Mana, no. Sand, no. Poor Metaverse tokens. I thought they had a chance, and they just really never did. NMR, Fetch AI, come back down to support levels, even broken down below some. Yeah, so we're definitely in a downtrend here, and this is going to be nasty for the next few weeks, if not like a month or so. Dollar index is consolidating here. That wasn't terrible the last time we had some of these moves here. Oil's going sideways. That's fine by me. I'm hoping oil goes down because the more the oil goes down for us, that usually means the better inflation is going to be for us overall. Gold continues to go higher. This is fucking insane. Gold really hasn't moved much in years, right? So you could have bought gold way back over here, August 2011, and you really didn't see a profit until March of 24. So you really didn't see a profit with gold for like over like 13 years. And now everybody's like, oh, gold is the best thing to be. And I'm like, well, yeah, but only if you bought, you know, again, a few months ago. Or I mean, last year. Stock market's still teetering. And that's not a bad thing. It's just going sideways here. Again, so is Bitcoin. But altcoins are not. Bitcoin is, yes. Altcoins are definitely not there right now. So let's pull this back over here. And let's pull this back over here. There's a little bit of a pop, though. You can see what's happening here. We're breaking back above that 20-week moving average here. Bureaucracies are people, too. Yes, they are. He's trying to buy low. Don't get shaken out. Hold for the long term. See, I think people usually go into crypto looking like that, like saying, hey, hold for the long term, hold for the long term, hold for the long term. I think people just panic and they sell. I don't think there's really a reason to panic and sell at this moment in time. But if you're really panicking about the price of Bitcoin, that usually means you invested a little bit too much money into it in the first place, right? So maybe you don't even have to dollar cost average as much, or you don't have to dollar cost average at all. You should be okay just chilling at me like, okay, Bitcoin's bearish right now. It's been bearish for in the past, and sometimes it's taken like months and months and months for everything to become okay. So maybe I'll just kind of come back a little bit later, wait to see what happens in crypto, and like not let it like absorb my day-to-day life, because of course when it's bearish day to day like this, it can really put some stress, you know, on your brain. Definitely put some stress on the brain. Any updates on the Bybit hack? No, there's no updates so far. All I can see happening right now is that there was a few, like some of the money was clawed back, but the majority of it, no. If you want updates, always go to Zach XBT, whatever his name is. Let me just go over here to X and I'll show you. He might usually have something, but I haven't seen anything new from him as of late. So Lazarus Group just connected the Bybit. So this was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, right? Okay. Lazarus Group connected to the Bybit hack, to the Femex hack directly on chain, commingling funds from the initial theft to address both incidents. Okay. Before this activity was observed, just now myself and Josh from CEF found the Bybit testing addresses connected to laundering on Tron and the Femex hack, along with other indicators shared to earn a bounty from Arkham 12 years ago. Right. And then, of course, the hack was found by XBT. He got a bounty from it. And then an address that was used in this hack was also used tied to the Bing X hack. So, you know, there's not much news going on there. This is a lot more over my head as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure there's some YouTuber out there talking about this in a very detailed way. But long story short, they know where the money is. They just can't get it because all that money got moved around very, very fast. And the Lazarus Group from North Korea, they're pretty efficient hackers. They're pretty efficient. So I don't think we're going to see them get much of that money back. It'll be hard for them to sell the crypto, right? But eventually I think they're going to find a way to do it when the... what would you call it? When, you know, the temperature dies down a little bit. If anything, if I was a Lazarus Group, I would just say, hey, China, can you want to buy some Bitcoin to have, you know, on discount? We'll sell it to you for pennies on the dollar. You know, it's worth $100,000. We'll sell it to you for $25,000, maybe even $50,000. You know, that's where I can see them making some money here. But will China buy it? I don't know. You know, I'm not that type of savvy. And hey, Mattis, the Trump meme fucked with the market. It was definitely a sign of pure greed when that came out. Hubris, whatever you want to call it. It definitely did impact the market quite a bit, and we're still kind of dealing with those issues at this point in time. I don't think it really had a direct effect, but I think it like sent the mentality like, oh shit, we're really getting out of control here. Because again, there used to not be so many meme coins. Now there's so many coins, it's freaking insane, just out of this world. Montana, North Dakota, and Wyoming all rejected bills for state strategic Bitcoin reserves over volatility concerns, right? Just can't help ourselves, can we? But again, this is, I mean, North Dakota, Wyoming, this is all conservative, right? Conservative. There's still a lot of old school Republicans in these states. Imagine your boss cutting your salary by 7% every year. That's how inflation works. Bitcoin, who held 15K, Bitcoin at 50K in 2022. I mean, you could say it like this, but in reality, it was a crazy time to be holding. I didn't feel heroic. I was like, damn, this kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping, there'd be some type of name for the arriving army or something like that. El Salvador bought the dip, adding another 7 Bitcoin to the strategic reserve. I mean, even El Salvador is only buying 7 Bitcoin, right? They're not going all gung-ho. And I think that's the way we all got to approach it right now. Kind of almost like a government. We are here. Everybody keeps saying that, but they just keep on updating the chart with like, we are here, you know? Yeah. Bitcoin falls. Every whole coiner I know acts like they're broken and believes they are worth 10 mil at the same time. Impressive. Let's see. Bitcoin playing games. Yeah, it's definitely a painful experience right now. Okay, there we go. What about Injective, AVAX, Ondo, Link, RNDR, Polkadot, ISP, which at current price and market are worth investment below and profit? I can't tell you the exact time to be buying all that type of stuff because that's a lot of stuff to talk about. But generally speaking, yeah, most of those tokens I already own. I'm already down about 20 to 30% on those tokens. I'll buy some more if Bitcoin takes another dip over the next few weeks. You know, I'll buy a little bit more. But it's basically just a dollar cost average, maybe another 10 to 15% down. Not a whole bunch here. Link is not doing so hot, just like everything else. Why have prices dropped? Let's say there's just 2 things going on to make it simple here. Let's make it very simple. Number one, the technicals for the market have been saying that Bitcoin is looking to go down and not up. That's been the case for the past 4 weeks going on now that Bitcoin has had bearish technical. So if you do technical analysis, it's just looking like, oh, more likely that's going to be going down than up. The other news here, I guess, is that we have seen that Trump says tariffs on Canada and Mexico will go forward. The last time he did this, he backed off and he kind of, Mexico was like, hey, we don't really want you to tariff us, so what can we do to make you look good, And Trump was like, hey, we want this, and like, okay, fine, we'll give it to you. And then Trump was like, okay, we'll hold off for 30 days, same thing with Canada. And like now it's like, they're still going for it. So, right here, let me see if I can actually go over here to YouTube. Not YouTube transcript, just YouTube. Okay, here we go. Let's put on the headphones here. Let's put down my volume here. And from here, audio looks like it's good. So let's poke this out here very fast, guys. Let's see what's going on here. A, B, C, D, everything is good.
Next week, there's a key deadline for your Canada and Mexico tariffs. I believe those countries have done enough on the border to stop those from taking effect. And for President Macron, I'm wondering if you believe that this critical minerals deal with Ukraine represents a de facto security guarantee by the United States, since the U.S. would have an interest in protecting those reserves in Ukraine. Thank you.
Yeah, it would.
We're on time with the tariffs, and it seems like that's moving along very rapidly. We've been mistreated very badly by many countries, not just Canada and Mexico. We've been taken advantage of. We were led by, in some cases, fools, because anybody that would sign documents like they signed, where they were able to take advantage of the American people, like has happened over the last long period of time, except for a little 4-year period that took place 4 years ago. But anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No,
So what we just heard there is the Trump tariffs are on their way. They're going to be happening here. And at his core, he believes the world is ripping us off. And again, to a certain degree, yeah, they have been, because we've been paying for their security. We've been protecting them. And they really haven't been doing enough to pay for us, because, again, we're losing money protecting the world, although it's an investment in certain respects. And there's ebbs and flows to the argument. So don't listen to what I say, because I don't freaking matter. Listen to what he's saying, okay? And then, of course, you hear about his Ukraine answer and stuff like that, which isn't as nearly important. So I probably won't play it when it actually happens.
The tariffs are going forward, on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen. I mean, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything, every aspect that you could imagine they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again. Plus, we're doing other things, as you know. We're finding tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse at levels that nobody thought possible. You're seeing what's going on. And that was also part of the Harvard poll. Do you agree with what President Trump is doing with Elon and others that are looking for the waste, fraud, and abuse? And the numbers were staggering. It was like 70% to 2%. Everybody wants to find out. They don't like it. And, the radical left or whoever it may be starts screaming about the Constitution. But it has nothing to do with the Constitution. It has to do with fairness to this country. It has to do with being ripped off. And when you read the things that all of these billions, and I mean many billions, hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent on, that's all you have to do is stand up here and read them. I could stand up all day and read the kind of things where we're spending all of this money. They accounted for every piece, did contracts when they negotiated with outside vendors on behalf of the United States. That's what I'm doing now. I'm negotiating for the people of the United States. So we're doing a great job of it. I will say we found it'll be hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud and abuse. Thank you. Please.
Look, I think this discussion is a very important one.
Okay, that's President Trump there.
All right, so again, tariffs are coming, the British are coming, whatever you want to call it. They're coming. It's not good. The market doesn't like it, and we're going to pay the price for it. So this is a Trump negative effect on cryptocurrency right now, because of course the economy, like, so when Trump first came into the White House, he got an economy that was good. He made it great. Right now, he's picking up an economy that's bad and trying to make it okay. And that's all I can think a president can do within 4 years. Let me get from bad to okay. Maybe from 2 years, bad to okay. And if he wants to turn it from bad to great, it may take the whole 4 years. And of course, he won't get much credit for it, because the person coming in after him will probably receive most of the credit for the economy. So we're kind of stuck. But for now, this is a fucking Trump move right here. What we're seeing right now, this nastiness, that's a Trump move at this point. So yeah, just be aware of that. Again, it's not a political thing. It's just like his actions are causing Bitcoin to go down. So you have to understand that if he changes his mind or something else happens, that could cause Bitcoin to rally back up here and see some good moves, right? So because again, not everybody holds Bitcoin, of course. So maybe not everybody is like, you could agree with Trump's policies and still be upset about your Bitcoin going down because of what he's saying. That is, I think, what's happening for a large portion of the cryptocurrency community at this given time, and I completely understand it. I completely understand the thesis there. You may like some of the policies where you're like, damn, I really don't want to have to see my Bitcoin go down to like 80,000, 85,000 bucks, something like that. If you don't want to, yeah, it's reasonable there. You buying Trump at $13 million right now, or $12.94 right now? No, I bought a few days ago, and I sold after the big spike that happened a few days ago, and I held on to think like 15-20%, but it already hit the stop loss, so I'm all out of Trump token right now. I'm thinking of another opportunity to get back into it, though. 74 gangbang Bitcoin now. Jesus, dude. As a vet, I say take care of Americans first, trillions to others, but we have to be homeless vets. Oh yeah, no, that's reasonable. I think that's kind of why they want to do that stimulus check for with the Doge money they're saving. Right? That's good optics. Maybe a little inflationary again, but I mean, people could really use $5,000 right now. I've seen a lot of people just having a lot of issues there. You're for Trump. Honestly, he's doing shit ass backwards. Tariffs should be number 7 on the list. Our people are not happy in their own lives. Dude, it's going to be like this for a while here. It's going to be like this for a while. There's just so much going on. It's hard to say, like, concentrated on one specific thing. I stay concentrated on the economy and Bitcoin. That's pretty much my whole day right there, right? If you want to, like, think about politics, if you want to think about... How would I say it? The different things that are making people happy, the inflation, like all the real stuff. Man, it drains your soul. It drains it so freaking fast. Nvidia has earnings this week. What do you think could cause? Do you think could cause nice pop for Bitcoin? I don't think it would cause much of a move for Bitcoin at all. It may help out the NASDAQ a little bit, which could be interesting if Nvidia has bad earnings, and I think we are going to see a bad market overall when it comes to the tech bubble going on over the NASDAQ. I don't think, though, that it would have a massive impact on Bitcoin. My fear is that it can mess with the mood of the entire market, but... I'm thinking this quarter or next quarter off of some of the stuff I've been looking at. I think the next couple quarters we might see Nvidia do a disappointment, not with earnings, but with guidance. And that's because, well, let me just pull up my YouTube channel, I guess. Not my channel, but what I'm looking at. The RTX disaster. All I see is when I go through all these videos and I'm start looking at different things as far as like the graphics drives and things like that with Nvidia. Like, do not buy the NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti. It's like a whole bunch of negative videos on it, and it scares the crap out of me. And NVIDIA's not having a good time with their graphics cards, but I think people are buying them all the same. But I'm wondering if that's going to hurt their guidance for this quarter or next quarter, like, you know, as they kind of this earnings or next earnings, excuse me. That's kind of my concern, because I don't think it's going to be roses and sunshine for NVIDIA for much longer here. In fact, if NVIDIA does start to tumble, the whole market's going into like a 20 to 30% correction, which means Bitcoin will probably go down to the low 80,000s, which will just be like, God, fuck, damn, you know. So hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Opinion on Arrow, made a lot off of it. It goes up and down 20% a day all the time. Yeah, usually when it comes to things like Arrow, the technical analysis doesn't really work on it. I would say if you are able to buy low, always have those limit orders set to low. And then as soon as it spikes, have a limit order set like 10 to 15% higher. And as it kind of pops eventually, then you're looking good for an opportunity to just make some quick cash that way. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer. Sometimes it spikes down a little bit more than you think it does. So just make sure you're able to control the risk, and I think you will be fine. What's the likelihood Pi gets on Coinbase? Dude, I have no idea. I haven't paid attention to Pi in so many years. I gave up on Pi, to be honest. I just don't care for it anymore. I gave up on it. The chance it gets on Coinbase, I have no idea whatsoever. Maybe 5% chance if we're lucky, maybe 5. I just don't know where they're coming with that money. Like, where does that money even come from? AI bubble bursting news all over the place. You're seeing cracks, but there's been cracks for the past few months and last couple of quarters. Eventually, the dam will break and things like that, but for now, it's still just like cracking, and they're putting the paste on the dam, right? And you see a new crack over there, but it hasn't gone to that point where they can't, like, just, there's not too many cracks where they can't stop it, if that makes sense. Right now, it's just a little crack. Let's go, putty that up to stop the water. Another one over there. Let's go over there. But it's like, you know, then they have like a 5-hour like relaxation. Like, okay, let's just chill for a little bit. Another crack. Let's go up there. You know, it's day-to-day work. It's not like oh my God, the dam's about to break. You know, and you see the scenes in the movie where they look at open-eyed like, oh fuck, we're not there yet. So you're saying Fartcoin is running out of gas? That's a good one right there. It got listed? Oh. I didn't know that PiCoin got listed right there. That's interesting. Once I get my Coinbase account loading on Fartcoin, doesn't recognize my ID. Oh, that sucks. Oh, Fartcoin got listed. Yeah, there you go. But okay, buddy, I'm gonna call it a night right now. I will be streaming with you guys tomorrow a few more times. I will be putting out more content. I basically just have to deal with this boot thing. I guess I tightened it too much when I came down here, so now my foot is like dying for like blood. So I gotta hurry up and end that. Say goodnight to Loki here. Loki, oh, look at you being a good boy. Oh, yes, you're a good boy. Yes. Alright. See you guys a little bit later. Thanks for watching. And every day at 5 o'clock, we're going to be doing streams. I think we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, or 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We'll see. And I'm going to be streaming on Saturdays and Sundays from now on. Not at set times. So I got to figure out what the times may be. But the streams on Wednesday will probably be a little bit earlier in the day, like maybe around 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, something like that. So we'll see. But Wednesdays, I have to go up to Seattle to go hang out with friends and smoke cigars and whatnot. So I will be not doing streams from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock then, because that is the exact time I got to be up in Seattle. So see you guys later, and thank you guys for watching. Oh yeah, don't worry.